I'm recording.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Anika.
So we decided to start this podcast, because it started as a conversation between me and Becca, then it turned into a text message, group message between me, Becca, Anika, and our other sister, Grace, who is missing right now. Let's not start on that. I don't start on that. So basically, whenever us girls get together, we always have deep conversations, usually in Uber rides is when it goes down. And so, one Uber ride, one of the ladies who's African American, Rebecca said she's beautiful. She was. She took out her earphone to listen to us, and I felt like we had a lot to offer, and so I said that we should start a podcast. Rebecca was like, yeah, let's do it, and then Anika was like, yeah, let's do it, and our sister Grace was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's a paraphrase of why we're doing this.
Woo.
So, yeah. So we're all going to talk about who we are and how we went natural. Anika, you want to start?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm currently pursuing my secondary English education license at George Mason to become a teacher, and I went natural about October this year. I've been off of relaxers since about 2005, 2006. I got off of relaxers mainly because I saw the movie Good Hair by Chris Rock. And after learning about all the chemicals that went into relaxers, it scared the crap out of me. And then I decided to go natural because I mainly wear my hair in a ponytail anyway. And so I figured, why kill it even more? Let me just start taking care of it without heat. Yes. Rebecca.
Nice. Oh, okay, that's cool. We're calling each other that. Okay.
Yes.
So, currently, I'm getting my graduate degree at Arcadia University up in Pennsylvania. And I went natural before my son. Let's see, was that probably 2015? Somewhere between 2014 and 2015 is when I stopped doing relaxers. I had a less noble reason. I had really bad heat damage, bad enough that I had to cut off like 6 or 7 inches. It was pretty drastic. I just went ahead and did the big cut, and came home with like an inch or two of hair and scared the crap out of everyone. But I have not gone back after that. Yeah, now I just love being natural. It's just who I am. And I found my hair is about as contrary as I am, so, that's kind of nice, I guess.
Preach.
Alicia, this is your last.
So, my name's Alicia. I'm not currently in school, I guess like the other beautiful educated women on here.
You just finished school. Why do you say it like you're not in school?
I don't know, you guys are like, oh, I'm in school.
Just talk about
that's
graduate and everything.
You're right. I just graduated in May, whoop, whoop, from UMW. I'm a history major, so heads up to all those history majors out there. I'm taking a gap year, which does not mean I'm lazy. I work full time, so I'm doing that hustle. So I'm a risk management clerk, which is boring, so I don't want to talk about it. But I went natural. I want to say sophomore year of high school. Trying to figure out, you know what? I did it because Grace was doing it. I'm a younger sister, so that is why I do a lot of stuff sometimes. So Grace was doing it, and I was like, okay, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look nappy. I'm feeling it. But then I did it myself and was like, no, this is not easy. She lied to me. So, but no, it's fine. I took it more seriously when I got to college. I do the lazy natural thing, so I buy whatever's on the market. So right now I'm on Cantu, so yeah, Cantu and grease. And like good grease moisturizer like Anika taught me.
Mm-hmm.
My hair is in love. What I did last night, I know this is a tangent, I put grease in my hair and braided it. Then this morning, I did cold water like Grace said, and then I put in my leave-in. Oh my gosh, my scalp, it feels so good. So yes, that's my natural hair journey. A lot of it has to do with I listen to my sisters because I'm lazy. I will not do any research. I don't care that much. If it takes 20 minutes, I'm happy. If it takes longer than 20 minutes, I'm not doing it. Like Grace's stuff, don't do that. That's too much. So yes, that's my journey. I'm getting a text from the missing person on how to find group.
I'm on the call.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
will you handle that? Because we're both.
Okay.
We're both on our phones.
I'm looking now. Okay. Does she need to call someone? Do we need to invite her?
Yeah, I can invite her. I just need her information.
Please hold.
Well, so for people out there, my sister Grace, she runs on Grace time. So this is
So she's gonna come back here.
I just want people to know.
You started okay. We're gonna try not to say anything about it. You are the one person.
That's okay. I can deal with her being upset with me. If she's upset with me, it'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Side note, the apple cider vinegar hair wash instead of shampoo is amazing.
Is it so
absolutely amazing?
I have issues changing. So I have not tried it yet. I feel like I need to work up to it. I've tried so many things that mess up my hair, and then I'm just like freaking out for a little bit. I'll get there.
I'll be like Drake. I'll be in my feelings if something happens.
Thank you.
I'm gonna look at her like
it's all natural. What's the worst that can happen? It's not a perm.
Huh?
It's not a perm. It's all natural.
Okay, she said hers is Susanna Ceci Khalid. So do one of us have to invite her?
What's her?
I could just try to add her.
Can we add people up here?
Yeah, I think so. I'm doing it now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you can still see me right now.
No, I can still see you.
Okay.
Side note, you talked about what you're currently using. Now I feel lazy because I feel like you went way more in depth.
For real.
Okay, but that's because I can't be like, my name's Alicia. I'm in my master's program at this school. I can't even say that.
Anika started that pattern. We just continued.
Excuse me.
No, I'm just like, how can I even match that? I'm not in school.
I worked hard for this, Alicia. Don't take it away from me.
Fine. Is it Susanna Jones?
No, Ceci Khalid.
Is it her name spelled with two Z's or one Z?
One Z.
That's why. Okay. Why she has to know something?
Okay, I'm here because I've definitely. For those of you who are watching and seeing our technical difficulties, our sister has a thing with names. So she spells her name Suzzanah, but apparently she also spells it with one Z. Grace.
Oh. Hey.
Grace.
Grace, can you turn on your camera? I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to say that you look a little naked, but you do.
We can't see you.
I just came from the beach, so no judgment. I don't know how to do the.
Oh, it's okay. I was just warning you.
How do the video part?
You see the camera?
Is it Snapchat or is it? Oh, it's the TV.
You're in here. Alicia, you can just tell.
Oh.
Hey!
Okay, girl. Get that Hannah.
My picture doesn't look naked.
Now it doesn't, but a little bit.
A little bit.
I don't know.
Thanks for introducing ourselves. We introduced ourselves, our education status currently, and also when we went natural. And if you really want to, all the products you use.
No, we don't have time for all that.
That's what I do.
Okay. My name is Grace. Let me try to remember. I have a bachelor's in business from Virginia Tech. I am currently pursuing a certification at BSU to become a registered dietitian. I went natural, I want to say in 2007, and I use an array of products. My favorite would be shea butter and olive oil. Keep it like that.
Olive oil is Mm.
Yeah, I know, Anika.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't use it all the time. It kind of drips out of my hair a little bit. But that shea butter keeps it tight. It's a beautiful marriage.
I agree. Like, I don't mess with olive oil no more. That's not for me.
You don't do olive oil? No, shea butter, olive oil. Huh?
No, I use coconut oil.
Oh, yeah, I use the all three mixed together.
See, coconut oil like will dry out my. So what did you say, Anika?
I like honey and olive oil.
Oh, see, yes, that's a humectant in there with the penetrating oil.
You gotta heat up the honey, Rebecca.
Huh?
Yeah.
You have to heat up the honey.
Yeah, honey. So, like, the only reason I'd be afraid. Okay. The only reason I'd be afraid to use it is just so sticky, wouldn't it?
Well, because it's nice for me because I get twist out and I'll wear it for a couple days and then I put my hair in a ponytail. And so it keeps it like nice and defined and moisturized. But if I was wearing my hair out, I probably wouldn't use honey because I feel as though it would maybe clump together.
Yeah.
Which is what I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm real lazy. Like I said, I do not like to change. Every morning, I put that shea butter conditioner in my hair. Then I put the shea butter, olive oil, and coconut oil in as a leave-in. And wrap it up, and that's it. That's what I do. Pull it out. That's all I got for you. Nothing crazy. You gotta have it.
You guys, I tried fermented rice water because I saw that on YouTube.
I tried it too.
Oh my gosh, that stuff smells horrible, Anika, but it is so good.
It is so good. It's so good.
No, I'm not effing with that.
I want to be a punch Alicia.
If it smells bad, if it's extra, if it costs too much, I ain't buying that.
No,
Same here.
It's rice. It's like $1. You pour.
Okay, yeah, but it smells a little
pour
weird.
water on it.
I'll see how it goes.
Try the apple cider vinegar rinse first.
I'll try that.
That is on my list first. But like I said, because like I'm gonna have to decondition right after it. Yeah, we'll see. I might do it.
Yeah, because I mean, I ended up doing, and I ended up doing like a banana deep condition, before and after the rice water, because then it smelled good and sweet, and not like holy fudge. So, and I let it ferment for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Did you let it ferment? Yeah. Yeah. See, it's
you
like
come
nice.
I thought you made your hair. I was like, that's not right. But
No.
I need to clarify.
Hey, Anika and Grace, you guys, your pictures are gone. Oh, there's Anika.
Oh.
Grace, your picture's gone.
Really? Wait, I don't know.
I see it.
There it
I
is.
see Anika and Alicia. Where's Rebecca?
I should be here. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
No, we can't see Grace now.
Maybe it's
Maybe it's my phone trying to like be like, you can only choose two. I don't know.
Just not.
maybe it's the screen. I mean, we can see you, so I wouldn't mess with anything.
Okay, I'm gonna
I mean,
put.
your camera looks. I'm pretty sure, but
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like we need to do another spa day so that Grace can do the work. And I can just.
Yes.
Yes, now that I have some more rice water, and since Alicia told me, Alicia, are you still afraid to use the black soap gel I gave y'all?
Yeah, I don't F with that.
see. I mean, we talked about the hair types, and we found that Grace and Anika have the most similar hair type to each other. Yeah, and me and Alicia have similar.
But you don't put the black soap in by itself. You have to put other stuff with the black soap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't dry out.
Yeah, you're not.
We also have
It's
a bit more adventurous hair-wise. I'd be like, once I found that thing, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yes!
I'm not ever would change. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna change.
I order of maintenance. Grace does the most, then Anika. And Rebecca because she does stuff, and then me.
I was so proud of you, Alicia, when you dropped Blue Magic. I've been telling you years.
Back in the day. Oh my gosh.
Right here by heart.
That was like
For a minute, I was using that same Blue Magic.
Blue Magic lied to me. There's no magic in the
No. Anika, she was using the Blue Magic cream, And I was like, that's no better. They just put water in it and just shake it up.
Alicia, do you not love yourself?
Oh my god. I was just like, Jesus.
This is a work anymore. Once you go good product, can't go back.
You
Can't.
can't. Other things like I can do stuff for short periods of time, but like it doesn't. You start feeling the differences in your hair. You know, with the product. I feel like.
Yeah. I think there's be a point in my life I'm hoping where I can make my own conditioner and shampoo. Then I would have reached true enlightenment. So
Taco Nika, she's already down that road.
Really?
Yeah.
Because then, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So if I make my own shampoo and conditioner, that means at that point I don't buy any other product then. Once I reach that level.
You can make your own shampoo with African black soap.
See, and I was using the gel, and I like
don't use the gel. You have to like cook it in water.
Oh.
Not cook it in water. You have to boil it in water, and then you like shave pieces of it, and it dissolves in the water. And then you add other stuff to it, like vitamin E, you know, whatever you want, argan oil, jojoba oil, castor oil, and then it foams up nicely as a shampoo.
I feel like we need to have like a chemistry party when we see each other next. Like go over to Nika whole thing that I'm not willing to do myself. But you know, I see it through with you guys.
I will never do by myself. Yep.
In case you didn't know, you do need to know just a tad bit of chemistry to be natural, you know.
You do. And I told Becky, because I was like, I just figured out I have low porosity hair instead of high porosity hair.
Me too.
That changes everything. Stop doing protein masks. Stop
question. Anika, break down porosity for us.
Yes,
I never remember what that means.
I'm still a little...
Okay, so you have low porosity and then you have high porosity, and people with high porosity, like, it's very easy to get your hair wet. Oh geez, I'm like, products absorb easier into your scalp, whereas like low porosity, like I can go outside in the rain and my hair will still be dry, and it takes forever. I have to use heat on my hair for it to absorb moisture. So like, since I'm natural, I'll do like a deep conditioning cap to get that moisture in my hair. Otherwise, I can moisturize all I want, and then the next day it would be bone dry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other side of the fence, I get my hair wet, it stayed wet for a minute. I had to
And then it stays wet
wrap it up
for like 2 days straight.
Squeeze it, and on the inside, deep in there, it might still be wet the next day.
Oh my god. And I like, and for years recently, like last year, I've been trying all these protein things like eggs in it, you know, and like now, like henna and fenugreek, that stuff has a lot of protein. And protein in low porosity is horrible because it closes the pores. So it's like you're doing worse. It's like putting powder in your hair. It's like not good. Low porosity, high porosity you can put protein in. Low porosity, no protein. You need moisture like avocado, bananas, mayonnaise, and that stuff. So, man, I'm telling you, change my world.
This is why you're the one getting a certificate for this stuff.
And
Anika's becoming a teacher. Because, like, honestly, I was like, cheap says natural. Yes.
Oh my god.
So you guys can also use more creams in your hair, because if I use like the amount of creams and like heavy products that you guys use, my hair will like, I'll get all this buildup and I don't need to wash my hair.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, and you get that old lady look on your hair, like it looks like it's turning gray, but it's just product.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I gotta put that coconut oil in to make sure that it's all the way in there, but I don't know.
That's if you just use cream, though.
That's true. Yeah, I only use cream, and I have to.
No, I've been going straight oil, and my hair has been like flake free.
Oh, yeah.
No, I do have to work it in there, but also if I don't put moisture in my hair, like leave-in conditioner every day, my hair also gets bone dry real quick. Real quick. I gotta do that every morning. around.
It's the opposite for me. I need like a moisturizer, like Anika said, so it's like a grease. Preferably a natural grease, but that's a whole other conversation, and I get annoyed about it. So, as long as I have a grease or an oil in it, I'm okay. And then I can only do leave-in, like, I learn only 3 times a week, because if I do it too much, then my hair doesn't starts, like, I don't know, like it's dry and brittle. Put too much in.
It's saturated, and it's telling you don't put no more in.
I wonder, because I do it while it's wet. I cover it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Rebecca, you're definitely probably on the higher priority side, because when we put stuff in your hair doesn't get saturated to a point where it starts like getting like greasy until you add, of course, oil. You introduce oil in it. But like, if you're saying that you keep adding and then your hair gets like brittle, it's saying that the pores are saying enough is enough. I'm gonna like just start pushing it out. Like, you know when your hands get like pruny, that's like it's saying it's oversaturated. So us low porosity people, it happens in seconds. It's like, okay, I'm done. Stop.
You're sprinkling your magic.
Yes, so funny. Yes, Anika explained that so clearly. Anika, you became natural at the last, but like you're already an expert. It's like
You always know so
much. So I love it, and I love your hair. When I see on Instagram, your braid outs are so like, and that's what I don't know if you noticed that about low porosity people. Your braid outs are so pretty.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Grace, yours are really well too when you braid it. Mine does not as much.
My hair loves braids. Braid outs, not braids.
Grace had me doing those braid outs, and she's like, put that gel in. And then the next day it was like sticking together. I was like, nah, I don't think this is working for me as much.
No, see, like I braid it and it comes out. I'm like, damn, it's a fro. I didn't even have to do all this work to get this. I did just the 2 Negro braids. Took my hand, you fluffed it out. Instead of doing like 6 braids each side. Oh, that makes me so angry.
Oh no. No, when I do like a twist out or a braid out, my hair will last for like basically till the next time I wash it, which is like a week and a half.
You just gotta do all that work in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But then Anika, it be getting me when we had our spa day, like Alicia and Rebecca, they put a little conditioner in and they're like, and they're like, God, you're walking out. And I'm like, well, F it. I gotta twist it, I gotta detangle it, I gotta put it up. And then it has to dry. If it doesn't dry, I'll take it out and my hair will be like, F it, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, boom, in like different levels, different lengths. It's crazy. Too much.
I was like, this is a normal Sunday for me doing my hair. You guys were so over the top.
Yeah. I do condition once every 6 weeks maybe, and then just, what's that called, co-wash, when you condition instead of washing it every day? Yeah.
I finally got myself down to a once a month wash.
Huh?
I finally got myself down to a once a month wash instead of every other week. I just
You're washing it every other week?
My oils back up if I do it too much. So. I don't need that. I can only see your mouth again.
Say again?
Anybody else all of Anika's face?
I can see Anika's face.
I don't know.
Right, I can also see your face. I don't know. I know my screen is changing every so often.
I'm sorry, Grace. I'm thinking about Robert's chair.
Don't even.
You know he's right beside her, right? First of all. And second of all, he's trying not to use any names, guys. Mr.
Mr. Jones. That's a common name.
Sure. Yeah, that's Mr. Jones. I got Mr. Jones' chair. We have to start getting to this. Who wants to start with this story? Not Grace. Someone else.
Oh my gosh. Y'all are something. And actually,
that was gonna speak out?
Alicia, tell the story.
What?
Great.
About Mr. Jones' chair.
Wait, what?
Grace, tell the story to your chair.
No, don't have her tell the story. She gets to tell the story after the first person tells the story.
Fine. I'll tell the story. This is what happens. We roll up to Grace's house for a spa day. So, and I think I'm the one who wants to sit in the chair, and she's just like, be careful, that's Robert's chair. I'm like, what the flip? It's a normal office chair. Like, why are we making a big deal? Then Grace tells us her husband takes 3 months to pick out, like, an office chair. Not only does he take several months, that chair cost $300. I'm sorry, I was just like,
No.
But no, she was like, no, seriously, like, don't play in his chair. I'm like, wow.
Oh, no,
And some chair are special enough to be $300. And I thought
computer desk chair.
And just a correction. It was around $200. One.
Oh, okay.
And two, he puts a lot of pride into that corner of our place. So yeah, I want to put some respect on that corner, okay? And no, you want to be all roughhouse a little bit. And the moment you break it, what you gonna do? Look at me like, oh, we're family. God damn it. No, you can't pay me $10 stipends until you pay the check. So no.
$20. And they won't even.
I didn't say that. That wasn't me. That was Alicia. That's your sister.
Oh,
the second cousin.
Oh, you did. Oh my goodness. Yeah, only God.
Before we digress too much, we only have so much time on air.
Yeah. That's true.
That chair. That special chair.
It's a great chair.
Let me see your tattoo.
What?
Let me see your tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
yeah. I don't know if you can see it.
I want this one.
It's really nice, guys. It's really pretty.
Oh, no, this one.
Hey.
Hey, no, Rebecca, what does that one say? I didn't see that one yet.
The one on my shoulder?
Yes, right here.
Right here?
No, what does it say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we can go through my tattoos. I just feel like, it's a waste of time. Okay,
You only have like 4.
Huh?
You only have like 4. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Just show the one on your
No, I have
clavicle.
I have 4 on front, and then like it doesn't matter. The preceding merely. Wait, give me a second. You know I don't remember having stuff this on me. Okay. The preceding merely defines a way of thinking, but the point is to live. From Myth of Sisyphus, Albert Camus, existentialist. No. Okay. Well, it's an essay about, to get real, it's an essay about suicide and why to keep on living. And quite literally, he kind of talks about part of why we shouldn't, and he finishes with, this is just a way of thinking, but at the end of the day, what's really important is that you live. You can continue on. I mean, I guess I can tie that into this group, and that really, we as Black women kind of forget that life isn't just okay. All right, that's what life isn't just about taking care of our families and focusing on what to do next to survive. Really, we have to remember that we as people are human beings, and we have hopes and wants and loves, and we have to remember that we have to live, and we need to keep going further than that. And a lot of times we don't.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah. Tears in my eyes.
Okay.
We'll keep it going.
He said keep it going. So, but yeah. Someone else should talk now. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up and everything, but what does everyone else have to say about this?
It's a lovely tattoo. Can't wait to get another one with you.
I know, right? I'm excited. Yeah. I already have
Yeah.
mine planned. You know that. No promises. I'm not going to get another one between now and the time I see you.
Okay.
Rebecca.
I mean,
You have my permission to get as many as you want without me.
You have as my permission.
She has my permission, both of them. Whatever you want.
I will.
I just like that they're done so classily. Like, you don't get stuff that's, like, stamped on. Like, if you look at her, like, tattoos, like, they mean something, but they're all written in, like, handwritten script. So it's, like, classy. It's not like, I'm super indie, like, I get the yin and yang on my wrist, you know, and, like...
That is not indie, that is... No offense to anyone who has it. That is...
Oh, my goodness. No,
I think the meaning behind it is really beautiful, though. I do agree that Black women, we get so caught up in taking care of other people that we forget to take care of ourselves and to make sure we know our own personal purpose beyond other people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, Alicia, you get one too.
Do I?
Wow, Anika. Wow.
That slow clap over there.
Oh gosh, I'm choking.
Dang, Anika.
So Alicia's dying over there. Hopefully she'll be okay.
No, she's in my throat. It's fine. It's cool. It needs to come out. Thank you, Nika. It was beautiful.
Anytime.
That was beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, nothing can beat that,
Grace.
Becca.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nothing can beat that.
Well,
Nothing can beat it.
I don't really know. Anyone have anything else to say?
I mean, do you like, Alicia, I personally, I don't know about you guys, but like, I mean, obviously you and Anika have tattoos. I don't know, Alicia, like, did you ever, huh?
Why am I looking at your boob?
I was thinking,
I'm
I'm not
doing
glad
stuff
you
too.
This is a podcast, so we were actually going to post this.
I
You
told
can't
you
see
I
anything.
just got
On my end, I didn't see anything.
What are you dressing?
I saw your chest, and I was like, no.
I just got, well, okay, so everybody out there, I just got from the beach, so, hey, I don't know what else to say, but, okay, I don't know,
I think we're good.
Grace
yeah.
is the one that likes to be free, so.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my god.
Her little painting story. Won't say it.
No!
The house.
Don't make people think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. No.
She's not, but she's not, like, out of the ordinary for her family.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty benign, Grace, if you want to share it.
Okay, so I got my new place with my husband, and we are all excited because it's our first place together. And I'm like, I want to make this place, a home. So I decide we're gonna paint the walls. So I'm really hyped because I imagine the color and everything before we moved in.
Painting. Grace, I love you.
No, I'm saying the whole story because I'm not gonna look crazy. First about the chair, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there in my way. So I get the paint, and it's Tiffany blue. I'm all excited, and I think, I don't want to mess up my clothes, and it's my place, and I'm all by myself. So why not paint naked? So that's exactly what I do. So I painted naked, and it's beautiful. And actually, I'm going my real place so people can see the color. It is truly beautiful. Alrighty. Thank you.
They just
no one is arguing that. Just don't go over her house if she invites you to paint with her. Don't do it.
No. I was by myself. So, next podcast, I'll probably be sitting like here, not on the go. We'll see.
Not naked. Not naked.
No, never naked. No. Nika. Nika wants me naked.
No.
I mean, if you're into that, just, I don't.
No, Rebecca, don't you do that. You're the one that wanted to paint with her while me and Alicia were doing
Yes!
I remember that conversation.
You want a little naked session? It's okay.
It's a choice between painting naked and something else. What was the other thing? There was another thing. What was it?
I think it's just painting and being naked.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I can either paint naked or...
You're trying to make this sound less weird? But it's weird.
Here or there. She's my sister. I love her. I will support her through it. No matter how weird it gets. So weird.
Trying to open my water.
I love her, but she paint naked by herself. I'm not doing that with her. That's too much. Too far.
I don't even care. I'm me right there. I die. Oh, before we go, I found some, like different temporary hair dye, like online. I think I want to try it. Something I haven't tried. Like, in college I dyed my hair, but it was permanent, so I had to cut it out. That, ladies and gentlemen, was definitely a mistake. Well, I liked it for like a moment, but then like, many regrets.
Did you bleach it and then dye it, or you just dyed it?
I just dyed it on top, but then like, it was supposed to be semi-permanent, but like it never washed out, so you know how that went. So it was pretty, and it was like auburn and stuff, so I might try the temporary dye out. I don't know if y'all have like seen, I think like for black women, we usually just like add extensions in to dye our hair, or, you know what I mean, it's like not for us to do it. So,
it depends. Lately I've been seeing it more often where black women are bleaching their hair and dyeing it so you get the color, and it's vibrant and it's pretty, but again, you know, because it's bleaching, you're
destroying your
hair. Yeah, you're destroying it and just get color in it. And not saying that that's any less destructive than when a woman who's white does it, because it is just terrible for your hair no matter what. But it's just because as black women we're way more likely to have darker hair, we have to bleach it versus having the ability to just dye it. No matter what, it's going to dry out your hair, but it's really not good if you're a black woman.
Yeah. I'm going to try to go ahead and, I'm going to use a temporary and then add it with a deep conditioner and see how it goes. I also saw hair glitter, but I was like, that may be too far, Grace.
I'm not thinking that might be too far, but...
It will never come out. It will never come out.
You can try it with like a wig first, like, you know. See how you
I could try it with a wig. I mean, I was thinking that too, of getting a wig and doing it, but there's a large part of me that's just like, this is what I want to do today. I'm going to do it.
Right.
It depends. Like, the preparation of a wig and all that security and, you know, it'll be a better decision. Right. You know, but that gets out of the excitement of, like, if it ends up really good, I now have to wear a wig in order to have fun. If it turns out really good and it's my hair, it's my hair. If it turns out really bad, I mean, I'll have that moment where I'm like, and tell y'all, and y'all will probably laugh at me at that moment, but then I'll move on.
Behind your back
and then you're
So
behind my back and in front of my face, Alicia.
Just to let you know ahead of time, me and Anika will be laughing at you on the down low when we hang out. We'll be like, oh, did you see what Grace did to her hair?
Stop it! Y'all are too much of them. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to get my, next time we're here, we might wanna, like, depending on the topic, if we're talking about hair stuff and things like that, like, when y'all come over, I have a mini, like, tripod thing that I do with some of my other videos, and we might be able to, like, do it together. That might be smart.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Have, like, a special...
Skype it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a special episode where we're... Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we taping on
I have
Lady
a
Day?
question for everyone. Did anybody hear about the Kavanaugh hearings? Did anybody watch it?
Yes.
Go ahead, tell us. One of us is very politically minded.
Thank goodness. Okay. So this is what happened. Brett Kavanaugh is a Supreme Court nomination by the president for, I don't want to say his name, so by the president. So basically, there was a sexual assault accusation against him by someone named Dr. Blasey Ford. So they had a special hearing, a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing for it. So it was 2 days long. I wasn't going to watch it, but I was walking in my office, and they always had the news on, and I was like, nah, I'm going to turn this on in my office. So I watched it. So this is what happened. First side of the story is, when they were in high school, he was super drunk, and he attempted to rape her with a friend in the room, and they were laughing at her. And she was able to escape, but, like, she's had a lot of personal issues as a result. He gets on there, and he's like, I'm sure she did get sexually assaulted, but it wasn't me. And it wasn't where she said it was, basically is what he said. Yes.
Wow.
So, I won't lie. At first, I was like, oh, maybe she's confused, right? But then we get into his drinking days. So he admits he's a minor and he's drank a lot of beer. But he says, I never get blackout drunk, but I like drinking beer. However, one of his statements, he basically said, I fell out of the party bus because I was so drunk. Another friend came out of the woodworks and said, he's a liar. He has gotten blackout drunk because I would drink with him. So that's what happened. So the Senate, at first it looked like because the Republicans are a majority, that they were just going to pass it through. And so his nomination would hit the Senate floor and they'd take a vote. And because the Republicans have the Senate, he would win. However, what happened is they flipped a Republican. Oh my gosh.
I was just, oh my god.
It was so exciting. So
She was very excited.
Republican in an elevator telling him, if you let him get through, you're telling me as a sexual assault survivor, my voice doesn't matter. So at first he looks like, he looks like unfazed and like, I just want to get out of here, right? He comes back after the testimony. They've already taken a vote technically, so they're about to vote to get it on the Senate floor. He says, the chairman gives him the floor. Is everything okay? Okay, I'll keep going. The Senate gives him the floor, and the chairman doesn't know what he's going to say, because then he says, he's just like, so I agree with the Democrats. We need to take a week and do an investigation before he is confirmed. And the Republicans go crazy. Like, you could see them like, what the hell? One guy starts stuttering. The chairman, he's just like, well, we're gonna vote now. So they take the vote, and technically it's gonna hit the Senate floor. But he's made it clear that he won't vote, or he'll vote no, unless there's an FBI investigation. So, when he's about to, the chairman's, trying to shut down the meeting, the Democrat ranking member, she's just like, hey, aren't we going to vote about the FBI investigation? He's just like, no, the meeting's over. It's a gentlewoman's agreement. He turns off his mic and gets out. It was so crazy. You guys have to watch the hearing.
Wow.
At least last minutes. And, you can see Cory Booker, he's standing, he's all excited. He's a Democrat, he's my favorite. And he's just like, you can see it on his face, like, I did this, y'all. This is my work.
Okay, I mean, that's awesome, but I guess my next question is the investigation going to go through? Is it going to be a real investigation? Is something actually going to come of it?
Well, see, this is
That's the question.
In order for there to be an FBI investigation, they have to refer it to the president, and they have to ask personally of the president. The Democrats had already done that, but of course, you know who our president is.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Senator Flake, though, said, I'm going to personally tell the president.
And he's a Republican.
He's a Republican that they flipped. He said, I'm going to personally tell the president, and then I'm going to personally make sure there's an FBI investigation within this week. I think that this is worth the wait, that we need to gather evidence because there's contradictory information here, and I think he actually believes what she said.
I mean, I agree, and I'm excited, but then we were also excited when they were going to do an FBI investigation on our president, and has that turned up anything? No, nothing has happened with that.
The investigation's still going, and they actually have convicted 2 people.
One more time?
In the administration, though, in the name of Jesus?
One more time?
Anyone from the administration, Alicia?
With investigation.
Something investigation.
She said they convicted 2 people.
True, they have. And I guess my point is, either are we going to just keep pushing this out until people forget about all of these accusations and kind of the reality of the situation who this guy is until everyone forgets, and then he gets sworn in anyway? Or, do you think just nothing's going to come of it and they're just going to wait and wait and wait to elect someone to the Supreme Court? I just feel like I don't want to be a pessimist, but and the biggest reason I've really kind of stopped watching the news is it is really hard to hope for the best when it seems like that is not
justice
happening.
is being served. It's hard because, you were saying, with the investigation of the president, let's be real, those two people who were the bottom of the barrel are the scapegoat. But yeah, what about cutting the head off the snake? Really, who really pulled the trigger? Who really knew? People keep tiptoeing it, and our president is trying to fire the investigator. That to me smells like guilt. And instead of people being like, "Where's rule of law?" everyone's being distracted by tweets and stuff like that. But that's the unstructured. And the Supreme Court nominee, the president wants him so badly because the nominee does not want him to be investigated. Doesn't want the president to be investigated on previous actions before he was our president. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's
sorry, go ahead.
That to me makes me think that they might ask for an investigation, but will the president tamper with it? Will it be an honest, investigation, or, will it be to pacify the American people again, instead of getting to true justice?
Right. And if he does, it could end up in front of the Supreme Court, his case, the president's case.
Yes.
Who he elects to the Supreme Court really freaking matters because, he ends up with someone who doesn't like him. Next thing you know, he's in jail if he gets really close to it.
Yes.
I would say, I understand you guys are coming from, and those are my concerns, but, my thing is that, it's on live TV, especially the hearings, and so even if this guy gets confirmed, which I pray to God he does not, because of his statements. However, voters are seeing the way they're acting, and the reason why they're trying to rush the hearing is because midterm elections are coming up. Yeah. So I just believe that's going to affect the way that voters vote. So even though these things may happen, I feel like there's enough voters that are aware of what's going to happen and aware of the consequences and will vote accordingly.
Well said.
Well,
we hope.
For the best. However, I will say Zimmerman, we were very hyped about that. And I do mean we as a people. People were angry. There were riots about it. And, all they did was they waited until everyone forgot, and then the trial went through, and then the guy got off. Zimmerman got off, for killing the kid.
That's exact. And they had it in the right neighborhood, in the right place and time. You're right, Rebecca. That's exactly what happened.
I guess what I'm scared about is, yes, we do have the media, and yes, the media is helping, but the media also swings, to both sides. So, yeah, it makes us aware of what's going on, bad and good, but I don't know. I guess lately it has not done anything for me, which is why I don't even watch cable, I don't watch the news. I just don't have the energy for it because I'm tired of hoping very hard that it's going to pan out one way and it ends up like shit. And there's not really much that we can do about it. I take that back. There are things that you can do about it, but it requires just more than one person. Even coming down to the election, there are so many of us who did go out and vote, but especially in our generation, there were a lot of people who didn't. So, I guess I should, change that by saying instead of many of us who did not go out and vote. And I'm not saying we necessarily as black women or black people. I'm saying, our generation, people in our 20s, we were so angry and we had so much to say about it, but we did nothing about it. Yeah. Which, of course, made a decision for itself. And I think in this situation we have less power. But I guess I really want to hope for the best, but it gets tiring.
Yeah.
No, it's it gets so tiring. You want to be optimistic. You want to be so powerfully optimistic, but after hearing the same story over and over and over, where do we go and what do we believe in?
Anika, do you want to weigh in?
Oh my gosh, no, because
no, don't act like you don't have things to say and that you're not thinking anything.
No, I am. It's just, I don't know. I'm with you, Rebecca. I have had to stop watching the news, which, and it's so hard to do because my stepdad, your uncle,
Our uncle.
he tries to kind of like force the news and like all of his opinions on me, and it's just like, I don't know, I just feel as though it's just such a surplus of like information everywhere. It's also why I've had to get off of social media. Like I've deleted my Twitter because everybody is just so like, they're either hardcore liberal or like hardcore conservative. And it's like, there's just like no like people thinking like rationally long term, being realistic. Everybody has like a whole bunch of ideas, but nobody has like a plan.
Solutions.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, Alicia. Okay, I understand how you feel now, Rebecca.
Yeah, it was coming. Yeah, I did know it was coming.
I'm an optimist, so even though I know things are really, really bad, I just know too many good people involved right now that are trying to make change and have the ability to do it, so that I can't believe in the worst or I'll despair and be depressed. And so I choose to be hopeful and choose to believe, like Cory Booker, Senator Corbisach. She's a woman on the Democratic side. And there were even Senator Flake, who they flipped. Like, there are people who actually care and want the truth and want to be able to reach across the aisle to get things done, that, like, I choose not to believe that the worst is going to remain that way. That good will eventually come through.
All right. And we should also kind of, put that out there. Alicia also does a lot in the community, too. She's not just sitting there hoping that something will happen. She's actually out there working very hard in the community. She works out there in D.C. You work with a law firm, right? Can you talk a little bit about what you do? Yeah, we're already there. Like, I don't want it to seem like, we're over here, pessimists. We want to block ourselves out from all that. And then you're just like, oh, I really hope. But that means nothing. No.
I really hope.
Matters.
You know what I do? I educate people. So I I'm a huge history nerd. So I try my hardest to get involved at church and provide informational, Sunday school informational, after church stuff, so that people are aware that Black people are more complex than you think they are, and B, our nation has a problem, and if we don't address it and talk about it, it's going to remain, and we're going to become part of the problem. So I do a little bit there. I was more politically active in college. I was part of a grassroots organization that addressed issues in the community that affordable housing was the last thing I worked on with them. The one that I loved was the returning citizens, which is people coming out of prison, and making sure they have resources so that they can vote again, which in Virginia, that's a thing. If you get a felony, you lose your voting rights. And also so that they can get jobs. Just because you commit a crime doesn't mean you're a social piranha. Not all of them are. That's not even fair. Not even most of them are. That's not fair. I do some of that, but we all do community work. Grace also does stuff in community. As her former job as a librarian, she was all up teaching the girls about their hair, spreading her knowledge around.
You just didn't want to let your stuff live, did you? Yeah, bring somebody. I think we all in our small community. And one thing I will say, I think it was a statistic I heard from college. A lot of programs try to initiate work with Black women, because if you help Black women, it's almost like the effect is almost amplified by two. So helping one Black woman, you're helping two other people at the same time. So, if not more. So I think Black women are very, very good about helping within their own community, especially within the nucleus. Because and even among our small community, each one of us has younger siblings, and I think in our small nucleus we all do. What's crazy is three of us are actually siblings, and we have younger siblings. Anyway, but we do a lot of work between training and teaching our younger generation in our blood family, but also within our community. So you can see that, for people out there listening, I think you can observe that, good women that you notice within our community help others, either physically or economically. I know when we moved down here to Virginia Beach, my husband and I stayed with Rebecca and her husband, and then we also stayed with his brother. And that's like a common thing, like within our community, instead of always, like, I think it's a stereotype that we first look to the government for a handout. And that's not true. We first look into our own family, and then church or friends, and then, at the last minute, then reach out for the government, because it's our family and it's our friends that really give the help that'll put you back on your feet, and not really just like this constant cycle of telling you, you're not good enough, or you have to apply. You can only work so much to be on welfare, and then we're going to cut you off, even if that's below actually being able to be self-sufficient. So, I think we all in our own small nucleus do that to uplift the proverbial Black community that we know.
Our people around us.
Yeah. I mean, in saying that, I will say I do agree that we are very community oriented and we tend to care for the people around us. Yeah. But I think what we miss out is we forget to take care of ourselves and the selves that look like us, the other, Black women in the community. Because, I mean, for so much time, it's been on us to keep our families together and to keep everything from spiraling out of control. And we do it because that's what we do.
So, Rebecca and Nika, do you guys want to be specific about how you self-care in order to reach out to, because I know you both take care of children.
That's good.
I don't have any children, by the way.
You can take care of your siblings. You take care of your siblings. Don't even play games.
I'm going to say that.
You crack that whip at your house. I see you, Nika.
She does.
I did. The other day, you were there. I cracked it.
Isaiah was acting right.
Isaiah, I love Isaiah. Oh.
Anika, how do you self-care?
Yeah. No, Rebecca, you go first. You're already on a roll.
All right.
Let me figure it out for you.
For me, self-care. For me, I do yoga. And it's crazy because I actually really dislike yoga. It just seems like a waste of time. I'm the kind of person who gets kind of anxious sitting for too long. I think a lot of us are kind of like that. I'm not saying generally, I mean specifically this group. Like, we do a lot of things. But it's helpful, lower back, my hips, stretching and everything. And it's also time where I'm slowing down. I'm not doing a lot. I'm keeping it kind of minimal, taking breaths, focusing on not doing a million things at once. So.
Soda in his arms.
I'm not sure if that's exactly what you meant. I do that and sleep, and that's pretty much
talk to him.
Baby boy.
Yes.
Arms in his
Here, my son is over there. Stand leader.
I love. Good job, Mom. You have a bunch of stuff you can do.
For
Anika,
me,
you're next.
Okay, so for self-care, for me, is I really like to just, not like, it's gonna sound weird, but like date myself and like really get to know myself more as a person. Like my favorite thing to do is like take myself out to like dinner and then take myself out to the movies and then just like go home and just like reflect. And that's my idea of self-care because like, yeah, doing something with like another person or whatever is cool, but just like I found that I'm more happier and healthier when I do these steps to put myself first. Because I feel like you can't take care of another person if you yourself are not taken care of.
Hi.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful, Anika.
Yeah, I'm real selfish.
No. I love that you said date yourself so you know yourself.
I agree. That's beautiful, Anika. It makes me now wonder, there's times with movies with me not as special. I'm gonna be thinking, when we go to movies and be like, this trick wants to go by herself. She didn't want to be with me.
No. Like, I just try to do something for myself, like, once a week, whether it's, like, small, like, I'll like, wake up a little earlier to do my makeup, or I'll have, like, tea or something, just something that, like, zens me, and I can just think about, like, nothing, or I can think about whatever's on my mind.
See, I prefer things that make it so I'm not thinking of 1,000 things at once, but that's why I do yoga. I never thought I'd be that person. Grace and Alicia, what about you? Self-care, since you're calling people out.
Yeah, Alicia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta look away from the camera like that. Okay, no, that's cool.
Wait, let me say some background first. So, it's gonna sound corny. So, my name is Alicia Gladys-Carol, so it means, I will praise the Lord with the glad song. So, I just feel like my name really does, like, embody who I am, cause, like, my thing is, like, when I'm feeling sad, or overly happy, or, like, when I'm in a worship mood, So, I just love singing to myself. I know it's a little weird, but, like, I'll sit in my car, and, like, I know other drivers see me, and, like, my hands are up, one hand is up, excuse me, not both, that's not right. And
That's very dangerous.
I would never do that. I just like singing and worshiping. That's just something I like to do by myself, like, especially when I'm feeling sad, like, I will just, like, turn on some Sam Smith. Oh my gosh! And his soulful, beautiful voice. Sometimes I'll cry a little bit too. I'm like, get it, Sam. You know how it feels. A man broke my heart too, that bastard.
A man broke my heart too.
No, really, truly. I really do say that in the car. I hope nobody hears me. That and, like, also, like, I like sitting in churches by myself, like, dark, quiet churches. And it's really hard to find that, but I live in a small town, so, like, God is good, and I'm able to find, like, places to, like, sit by myself and be quiet. Or sometimes I'll cry a little bit, because I'm a little emotional sometimes. And that's how I self-care sometimes. How about you, Grace?
I think it just depends. I think one thing that's really big for self-care is me going back to school. I think I was in the working world, and for me, it wasn't really, I didn't think I was reaching my, like, potential, and I just didn't feel as connected as I wanted to the community I was in. So I went back to school, and I think that number one is something that I do for self-care, is, like, constantly trying to reach, like, my own potential and, like, unlock new opportunities for myself. So that's one. And then I would say between making a lot of, like, health and wellness stuff on my site, that is very therapeutic to me. So, like, health and wellness stuff, figuring out different things. Oh, brushing my hair. It sounds stupid, but, like, I really like just, like, I'll take it out and then I'll just be, like, doing something with it. And the fact that it's grown so much, I just remember, like, being in middle school and my hair just wouldn't grow. It was, like, right here. Like, and it was so dry and so brittle, and I felt so different and, like, horrible and not very pretty. And I was just, like, really prayerful because, I mean, as you can see, like, you know, people watching, like, we're like a gorgeous family. But, like, at that time, Grace at that time kind of felt like a little out of place. And I was just prayerful, and I was like, Lord, I'm so different, and I don't understand, like, how to, like, why I can't, like, get to look as pretty. And being natural to me and seeing the growth, not from my hair, like, not growing for, like, years to, like, as far as it's gone now, is such a relief. It makes me feel like, you know, I'm pretty and I'm, like, worth it and all those things, like, for me. Like, I don't have to look like nobody else, but, like, the way, if I invest in me, my beautiful will be enriched and will be, you know, untapped potential rather than constantly comparing myself and trying to look like anyone else. So I think those kind of things. Anika, you be getting me with those emojis. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's one of those things.
All right. I will say we're past an hour, We're on
I
our
think
way.
it's, and also, like, I'm, like, shaking my leg here, so,
Yeah.
sorry,
Oh,
guys.
why did you make a sign? Okay, so we're gonna close
No,
that.
it's not me. I'm, like, really hyperactive. So, no, I'm ready to go, like, go do something now.
Yeah, I'm
so.
hungry. I need to eat.
Like I said.
Yeah, I need to eat too.
Alright, love you guys.
Alright, love y'all. See y'all later.
Thanks for watching us. And we'll be back next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Alicia, how do you leave this?
I was about to end the call for you.